What's up, y'all? Hawkeyes Hoops Heaven. Look, it's never too late to give out players' grades. Yes, it has been a little minute since UConn and South Carolina played the championship game. Yeah, been a little bit since women's college basketball been over. However, again, it's never too late to talk about player grades. In a perfect world, this would have been out. But hey, it's no better time than right now to give you guys the final grades for the Iowa women's basketball team right here, right now. So let's go. So the first player pictured is Taylor Strimlow. Taylor Strimlow was a freshman this last season. And Taylor Strimlow gets a B. A solid B. Super, super solid B. It's not always about points, It's not always about points with these players. Strimlow finished the season averaging about 2 points a game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. So those numbers you might say, okay, she gets a B. Again, it's not about the numbers. It's about her infectious energy. It's about her ability to play multiple positions. It's also about her approach and excitement and hustle that she shows while playing in the game. And again, she's just very infectious. She is just very infectious and, a great cheerleader from the bench. When she's on the bench, you could tell that she's actually involved in the game. And I think that, she's one of those players on this team where the sky's the limit. And I definitely feel like she's going to have a better sophomore campaign. But yeah, she gets a B. And lastly, the hustle, the heart. Also, before we move on to the next player, great agility, can pass the rock very well. Excellent passer. That's an underrated part of her game. She can also rebound. And late in the season, you saw that Taylor Strimlow can actually knock down the three. I just think that she should be more aggressive. It's something I actually yelled at her about, from the confines of my home, from my chair, from my couch seat. Please be more aggressive, Taylor. Please. And so, if she ever gets that going, hey, the sky's the limit. And I also think that she could be competing for a starting spot. Like, don't sleep on Taylor Strimlow. Let's move on. Final grade, B for Strimlow. We're moving on. Up next, we have Taylor McCabe. And Taylor McCabe, her best quality is the ability to make the three-point basket. She's simply and surely put a tremendous knockdown shooter. And I give McCabe a C+. And I feel like as great as a three-point shooter she is, she needs to evolve her game out more. Now, next season, Taylor's going to be a senior. So we'll see, if she can do something special with her last season of eligibility. But if nothing else, she's going to give you that three ball. But I like to see her get better in ball handling, get better on defense, and mix it up some and take some twos. But I guess when you're as efficient and effective from three-point range as McCabe is, hey, watch how to fix what ain't broken. But I do think if she wants to become, more evolved, if she wants to see her game evolve, she's going to have to do more than what she's doing. So I give her a C+ for sharp shooting ability, but I just think other parts of her game need to grow, and maybe I'm being a little harsh, and maybe the C+ is not what some people would say, but it's what RC says, and that's my final grade on Taylor McCabe. So let's move on. Okay, so now we're going to go to Kylie Fairback. So Kylie Fairback actually was, for the most part, very well prepared last season. It was actually a shocking and nice surprise to see her go from a basically, I don't want to say non-existent, but limited use, underutilized bench player to coming along this past season and doing a whole lot more than what would have ever been asked of her. In the minutes that she played, she was a tough defender. For the most part, she was. She could shoot the three ball, effective as well. At times, she might not have it going. She might be streaky, but she can definitely shoot the three ball. Very excited to see that she's going to be coming back. But let's give her a grade, right? That's what we're here for. So we give her back a C plus. I thought at times she would disappear, but again, nice surprise because for me, I think the most effective thing for me about Kylie was the way she played the passing lanes, the way she stole the ball, the way that she played very, very solid defense. And I just was happy to see her take a huge step in this program in terms of playing for the Iowa Hawkeyes and starting. And so, hey, that's what you want. You want players to be ready to step up the next season. And Kylie Fairback, a perfect example of a player that stepped up from one season to the next. So, salute to her. You might say it should be better than it. Her grade should be better than a C plus. But hey, I thought she didn't blow us out the water, but I thought she was extremely solid. So let's move ahead. I thought as we go to Ava Hayden right here, I thought that she came on well late. I also feel like Ava Hayden was a player who, in my opinion, was underutilized most of the season. And, to me, that's somewhat of a crime. Thankfully, during the Big Ten tournament and during March Madness, Jan saw the gem that she had in Ava Hayden. And now I feel as though, you can there no longer be any hiding of Ava Hayden. She has to take on a more prominent role. But we're here to give her a grade, and we give her a C. Ava Hayden gets a C. The potential is there. She did have some moments you would like to see her, of course, get a big opportunity, and I think that's going to come. Ava Hayden averaged 5 points and 3 rebounds last season. So not gaudy numbers, but she's a player that I feel she can stretch the floor. She's really good at angles. She's got great size. And, hey, I thought in limited minutes she played pretty well. So C to Ava Hayden, and let's move on. Here we are with Jada Gemphy. Now, Jada is one of those players that is really hard to give an adequate grade to because she doesn't play a lot. And when you look at Jada, I think that there's always been some potential there. Could it be that she's maybe not as fast as she should be? Yeah, but I also think she has the frame, very solid frame for playing the game of women's basketball. She could be a good wing, but I just think it just never truly materialized as to why she doesn't play a lot. Very, very, very underutilized to say the least. But in limited action, I thought she did well. She can knock down a jump shot. She can score in the paint. I give Jada a C. Again, very limited play. And if she had played any less, I would have to consider her as an incomplete in A grade. No answer. I would not applicable. I would have to say that if she had played any less, but I don't know the mystery. Hopefully she plays a lot more, in her senior campaign. But yeah, Jada Gemphy gets a C, and the C comes from the fact, again, I shouldn't have to explain this, but obvious potential. But when she's on the court, she can knock down a three. She is good in the paint. She can drive, she can score, just doesn't play a lot. So yeah, let's move along. Here we are. We're at Addison O'Grady. Addison O'Grady is really a player that shocked me last season. Addison O'Grady was never going to be a key piece of this team in terms of being like somebody that you could build around, somebody that's going to lead your team, will be a huge part of the scoring all the time. Like, she was never going to be that, or she wasn't ever going to be like a professional player or anything, but she is very, very, very solid. Keep using solid, but that describes Addison O'Grady best. Like, I thought Addie O'Grady showing the ability to score around the rim was really nice. That jump shot she had was really dependable, and she really had her best season. Her last year was this year, out of eligibility, of course, but she went out great for us. She was third on the team in scoring, so that was amazing, and that gives her this grade. She earns a B. So, how shocked are you guys? I'm giving Addie O'Grady a B. You let me know. You let me know if you guys agree, but that's what I give her. Let's go ahead and move to the next player because we've got a lot of players left, a few players left. So here we are at Sydney Fulter, the big dog on the yard, Sid the Kid, Miss Energy herself. Sydney Fulter, this was her last season. that's really tough that she's out of eligibility. She's one of my favorites, and really gonna miss her. So, what do we give a Fulcher? We give a Fulcher a B plus. While I think that she wasn't offensively as strong as she was in the past on the offensive side of the ball, I thought that her defense was still there. Her aggression, her energy, her rebounding, the grit, the fire, everything that kind of embodies what Sydney Fulcher's game is. I thought it was still there and still prevalent for this team. And yeah, I think she definitely earns a B plus. Again, everything ain't about what you can do offensively. And Sydney Fulcher, I must say this as well. I think it hurt that she missed the first month of the season, because I think if she would have got the whole season in, who knows what she could have became. But yeah, she was one of the most hardest working women in the game, and I would take home my team anytime, because if you need a hard worker that's just gonna get out the hard hat and lunch pail and play the game of basketball, you're talking about Sydney Fulcher. So yeah, congratulations on a wonderful career. Let's move ahead. To my knowledge, and I'm almost certain on this, 99.5% sure, Kenise Johnson did not play last season. We thought she might play, but she didn't. So I have to go ahead and give her incomplete NA. Yeah, it's unfortunate she didn't play. So can't rate a player that didn't play. Can't grade them. Let's move ahead to the next player. We are at AJ Edinger. And AJ Edinger, very much in the same vein as the Jada Jemfe, just didn't play a lot. Unfortunately, AJ has run out of eligibility. But here's the thing: I thought that she was a player that had some skill to her game. Definitely in the post, could definitely do some scoring down there. And I thought that she was okay. I give AJ Edinger a C. Again, not as exposed to the game as I thought she should have been. Didn't play as much as I felt she should have. Very underutilized. So yeah, I give her a C because she definitely had some game. You just didn't see it come to fruition like that. So yeah, let's move ahead. IVO, I was very young. Callie Levine. Callie Levine, I can't give her a score, guys. I can't give her a rating, a grade, because she didn't play enough. Now, she did see the floor just a teeny bit. Mostly in garbage games, garbage moments. I can't give her a score. I know that there's high promise. I know that Iowans are very familiar with her. I do think there's some potential for her. I do hope that her sophomore season will be one in which she sees the court some, at least. If at least get the court some. But yeah, can't give her a grade. She didn't play enough. Let's move ahead to the next player. Aaliyah Guyton, who unfortunately will only be spending one season with the team. She's moved ahead to Illinois. Aaliyah Guyton. Okay, guys. Aaliyah Guyton is the only one on this team. And it's not because she transferred. It's not. She gets a D. Aaliyah Guyton, my expectations for her were so high. She didn't meet them. Not in there. Did not meet expectations. Which is not the best of ball handlers. Adequate would probably be the best term I would describe her ball handling. Seemed lost and listless at times. I don't know if she was all there. For what I thought she was amazing at Peoria. I do think she can get better, but this season, very, very mediocre. And I'm high on Aaliyah Guyton, and I wish her nothing but the best, but I just thought that she didn't have, the best seasons. And you could say maybe Jen should have played them more. I hear that. I get that. I can see that. But yeah, definitely think Chizadi Chit Chat is an upgrade. And I just don't see any reason that vindicates that I should give her a C, a B, nothing like that. So a D it is. Let's go to the next player. Tegan Mulaney. That's who's next, guys. She's got the most upside on this team outside of on this team, not the new team that's gonna be dropping, this winter. But Tegan's got the most potential outside of Taylor Strimlow. And I am looking forward to, what she does next. But in this season, I gotta give Tegan a C minus. Like Tegan, she did nice in the preseason, and she never kind of really got back to that level of play that she showed us in the preseason. She's very talented. I like the fact that she's not all about scoring. She can rebound. She can block shots. She's a hustle player. Her game has definitely ways to grow. But I believe in the kid. But I do give her a C minus because I think she's got a great shot. Just needs to work on it. If anything, I would just say take and put the time in, put that time in, because your game can definitely be something in the future. This season, her minutes kind of dropped as well. But I'll give her a C minus because she definitely has a game in which it's not all about scoring for her. She does other things. So let's move ahead. We're down to the final two players, and I bet you guys can guess who's last. But before we get to the last name, we are at Hannah Stuelke. Hannah Stuelke is a player that I've liked since she has came to Iowa. I have been frustrated with her at times. I have been upset with her. There's been moments I've been absolutely ecstatic with her. Her best ball thus far has been played with Caitlin Clark. I thought that Hannah had a pretty decent season, averaging almost 8 rebounds, almost 13 points, but I thought she should have been better. Got to work on the free throws. Got to get a mid-range game. Can't be afraid to shoot from outside. And then I wanted her to average closer to 19, 18 points a game. She was around that 12.8 mark. And, did I mention free throws? Yeah, so Hannah Stuelke is a good player. And then working on angles around the rim, not constantly, trying to put the ball on the floor. Hannah Stuelke has some bad habits, but overall, I think she has a good future, depending on how she approaches next season. But on this season, Hannah Stuelke gets a C grade. Hannah Stuelke, some of y'all might not like it, but I think that Hannah, she's got bad habits she needs to fix. She does things good, but in a perfect world, Hayden would play the 5 and Stuelke would play 4, but Stuelke has no outside game. So, yeah, it's a C because she's pretty much stagnant right now. We'll see if she takes a leap in her senior campaign. All right, let's move to the last name. The final name in the final grade, Lucy Olsen, right here. Top notch, Lucy Olsen coming over from Villanova. She gave us her wonderful, wonderful final campaign. Her senior season was full of joy, just like her personality. Brilliant on the court for the most part. Had one little spot, like a game, like where she had like a game here or there where, it was like, is this Lucy? But for the most part, she was highly consistent. There was a game where she had to sit on the bench towards the end. Hey, it was all living and learning. Lucy, it all worked out fine. Got, into the March Madness tournament once again. Many people didn't think we would. Lucy got herself drafted by the Mystics, so congratulations. But all season long, she was awesome. And for that, we give her an A. We give her a great A. Like, Lucy Olsen deserves it. And she absolutely balled for us and was consistent and helped us win more games than one would have probably thought we should have. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Those are the grades for this season, for the 2024-25 season. Shout out to the Iowa Hawkeyes, going into March Madness, winning all the games that we did, having a good showing pretty much all season long, being competitive, fighting and scrapping to get all the way, back to March Madness. So that's awesome. But before we go, guys, I want to give Jan Jensen a grade real quick. So, guys, in closing, I would like to give our coach Jan Jensen a B. I thought that Coach Jan Jensen really showed her worth and just her testament to how competitive she is when we lost 5 straight. We could have let our season fall by the wayside right there. It could have fell to the wasteland. But, Jan kept everybody together and focused and locked in. And I think, another thing is just how this team competed. That has a lot to do with the extension of the coach that's coaching. And, off court, on court, continuing to compete. Continuing to compete. We lost Caitlin Clark, Kate Martin, Gabby Marshall, Molly Davis. We lost so much of what the core, was. And to be able to just come in and take a player from the portal like Lucy Olsen, was very talented, and pair her with, a lot of players who kind of were unfamiliar, didn't play a lot, underutilized, with a lot of freshmen. I thought that Jan did a great job. She deserves to be. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Maybe you don't want to give me all the players' grades like I did, but guys, let me know what you thought of the Iowa season, what you thought about Coach Jan Jensen, and lastly, what did you guys think of Lucy Olsen? At least tell me, did Lucy deserve an A? And also, what would you give Hannah Stolke? Was I right to give her a C? And was I right to give Sydney a Folter a B+? So with that, I will holler at you guys on the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it was late, super, super late. Should have had this out much, much sooner, but it's here. And y'all know the saying, better late than never. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm gone.